The index finger in a traditional grip helps you to execute two things while you're playing the drums. Number one is bounce, like control, bounce. And then the second one is stability. So let's talk about bounce first. The main thing that I noticed, when I was learning and just kind of observing what the fingers are doing, I noticed that the index finger plays a pretty significant role in helping you play controlled bounces. So in other words, ghost notes on your snare is a good example. When you're playing ghost notes on your snare drum, the index finger sort of acts like a ceiling for the stick to sort of bounce back off. Once you bounce it off the head, what happens is you sort of curl that index finger in, and it just helps you control the rate of bounce. So when you're playing your quieter strokes on your snare, your ghost notes and stuff, a lot of that is being done with the index finger. Now it's possible to do it without the index finger, but you get a lot more control with that. That's why you see a lot of dudes, they'll curl that finger in a little bit, when they want to do a lot of softer and quieter strokes and stuff like that. So that's the main thing. One way to work on that, one thing that I used to do while I was sitting in front of my TV, it's just a really simple 16th note exercise that you can do. And it's just a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. And what I would do is I would play the 1, 2, 3, 4 with the right hand, and then the E and with the left hand. So I basically just do this. And all I'm really doing, I'm using the ring finger to sort of just help to lift the stick back up. But I'm, as far as the left hand goes, I'm playing the first stroke and I'm just letting the other two bounce. So I'm not physically playing all three notes. I'm just playing the one and then just letting it bounce. And then eventually, you can work your speed up, and that'll help you with that. So, in that respect, the index finger is, it's going to be shifting positions all the time while you're playing. It's not always going to stay in the same spot. You're going to be adjusting the position of that index finger over top of the stick, depending on, what you want to do. So, another thing that you can do just to sort of help you get used to, the positioning that finger over the stick. Another thing that I did a lot was I would just bounce it. And then just let it bounce off that index finger. Just like that. And I would do this for, hours on end while I was watching TV. And that'll really sort of help you get used to the whole idea of bouncing the stick off of your index finger. And the tighter you curl it in, the faster and the tighter bounce you'll end up getting. So loose, and then tight. So that'll be helpful, when you want to plug in some drags or whatever on the snare drum. You're just going to be curling that index finger in a little bit tight. All right, so that's the index finger for controlled bounce. While you're playing drum fills, I've noticed that it also helps with stability. And generally, when you're playing drum fills, another way to sort of make the stick feel a little bit more stable in your hand while you're playing those faster fills is, again, you're just going to curl it in a little bit tighter. And again, another thing that you can do with that is just practice playing singles just with the thumb and the index finger. And, you know, you're just going to be bringing the stick down more or less just with the index finger. The thumb is going to be there to help keep the stick where it is, but you want to focus on, you know, throwing that stick down with the index finger. So that helps as well. These three fingers I should say, aren't touching the stick at all when you do that. That's mostly being done with your pointer. So that's another thing that you can do real slow. Just practice doing that. There's going to be a bit more of wrist rotation happening there when you're doing that, but you're basically just using these two fingers, the thumb and your pointer. That's going to help you get around the drums when you're playing your fills. And that's what helped me out. So do that, and then just practice bouncing it like that.